just got done welding this here. Using our TIG welder right here. Big 300 amp plus one. So, you can see how we built this up. Pointer right here. This is the original case. You always make sure you want to have more metal through here than what your original case was. So when you grind it back, you don't have a low spot. So that, and you also want to make sure that it's sticking out above your gasket surface right here, which we are. And you got enough height. So hopefully got enough on that one. These ones here, the JB weld that was on here popped right off as soon as heat got anywhere near it. So these are the JB weld pieces here. So didn't stick very well. So these have to be ground out. These two here, I'll have to weld those up also. So anyway, there's that one there. You can see all the toilet paper gets burnt back a little ways from the heat, from the torch and stuff. Just make sure you put the fire out before it gets too far in there. So anyway, we got that one done. We're going to move on to the other ones. Alright, we just got done welding all this here. Turn that off. There's a major pain in the ass as usual. This whole repair area all through here was nothing but crap, and it just percolating up wells of tar and puke and you name it was in there. Cracks going everywhere. It was all spider webbed. So I wanted to just weld over the whole surface. This thing's hot, so I don't touch it. But I just welded from here all the way through here, all the way across, back and forth, and just kept heating it up and burning it down until the crap quit coming up. There's actually some metal there. The kickstand's right up against the bottom of the case now because all the crap we just got done welding up under there. Let me flip the light on here and maybe see better. There it goes. If that helps and helps. I stuck a lot of extra metal right up under here so you can put a full 1/4" bolt in here now. It's that number 10 screw Harley used. But anyway, it's really hard to see what you're doing up under there, but it's just a big wad of crap. So, but anyway, it's welded. I don't see any other cracks coming up. So it looks decent. Got that one welded. Got that one up under there welded. Got this one up here welded. A lot of whole gasket surface got to be cut there. Got a little crack up here or something, so I welded right there too. Anyway, I got a lot of grinding to do now. Alright, we're back at this after interruptions. Okay, I got my gasket here. Blow this back a little. So you take the gasket, you lay it out here, and you come by and you mark it with your felt tip marker. We got the hole, and we got where the high spot is, right there on each one of these. And this one up over here was good, and this one over here a little bit. So you take your gasket off, and you can see the mark here. We're going to grind this away a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and pre-grind that stuff away. Get it figured out what we're doing these holes. So we're going to use these big grinders right here to do all this. So I have these 4 different ones here I'm using right now. You always have one grinder, one bit, so you don't have to keep changing bits out. I'll use these bigger ones right here because I'm going to do more heavy grinding. And we'll see how clean all this is after I cut all this shit off. It should be pretty good now that I've re-welded the whole surface. And nothing really cracked just when it cooled down, so it's always nice when you have to fix any cracks from after you weld. So, alright, I'm going to go ahead and grind these and we'll see what they look like. Alright, I got the grinding down here a little bit. I'll touch this up right here, so it's gone, that little lip I did there. Went ahead and ground these back up under here. We don't have to make those perfectly smooth under there against the old case. Being extra material is not going to hurt us any. As long as it clears the chain, you're alright. So, I always like making them nice and thick so they don't have to worry about them being thin. You can see how we got like 1/4 inch all the way around the bolt hole here. So keep these nice and thick. I had to grind the stand out under here a little bit. Make sure that one clears. This stuff here, right here where the foot peg goes, I can't really get up under the grind that very well. It doesn't really matter anyway. So we'll leave that alone for now. And then this one here, I ground this one back, so it looks good up on that. And this one up here, I did the same thing for. I didn't weld on the outside edge, I only welded right in here because the threads were still good in the hole, so I didn't have to fill the whole hole in. So I filled about half the hole in. So I'll come back and re-hit that drill later. So that's what that looks like. So now we're going to try to get this surface here flattened out and all these other ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind it back a little bit with the grinder, and then we're going to have to slowly come up with a combination of files. And we got our straight edges here. I got my short one, I got my real long one. So we're going to have to get this until this goes down nice and smoothly down the whole case. And we got the big one right here. We lay across the whole surface to see how much we need to cut off. So you just take a little bit off at a time, and you work it down slowly, and then when you get down to your files, you gotta be careful. Because you don't want to be filing along this edge here and here, you only want to file right here, which is going to be hard to do because you got a foot peg in the way, kickstand bracket, you got a brake lever over here. So all of these things are in the way of keeping you from doing what you want. Plus you got the battery box back here, so you're hitting the back side on this side. Then we get the generator on this side. Other than that, it's no room. We got plenty of room. So anyway, I'm gonna work on these a little bit, and can't do that while we're watching the camera, so I hate tripods, so I just have to look at it as I go. Okay, I got this one boss here cut down, so it's pretty close to the gasket surface. We got our straight edge here. You look down in here, you can see how much is sticking up. So it's pretty even. Just look at it with different angles and you can tell where you're at. So this is all done by basically grinding these at different angles. And just do the surface right here. You come in and get it from this other angle going this way here, and just get it from multiple angles. And you can slowly work it down relatively flat. And kind of see the grind marks in there, how they're coming at different angles. So these little small ones are easy because you got a lot of flat surface to go against. This big long one here, we got a big long area to deal with here. So that's going to be a little bit harder doing this one, but it's the same way, same process. So like I said, this one I didn't have to do. This one here I got to do, so I hit this one next. And then I got to get down to here. So that'll be the hard one. So continue on. Okay, I got this one ground down, so I'm moving on to the big one here. So I took my straight edge right here and laid it in there off my flat surface area. And I took my felt tip and marked it as best I could. You can't really get in there very well, so kind of limited application. So you can see how we got a big mark here, but see the case is actually way out here. But it gives you a rough idea where you're at. So we're going to have to stay at least a 1/16 of an inch out from that gasket surface, from that black mark, to be on our gasket surface. So we'll just rough this end about 90 thou back. So that'll be about where this line here is, and we'll work our way in a little bit at a time. And at least have a little bit of a sight line to go by. And you can see how far the mark is right here off, so I gotta make sure we don't get no closer than that. So it's kind of tricky, but you just have to play with it. A little at a time. Here's our first pass at getting the heavy stuff off. So this is done just by using this grinder right here. Kind of come along the surface here. It's really hard because you got the clutch gear right here in the way, and you got the battery box back here in my arm, so. And you got the kickstand down here hitting down on this, so you can see I was grinding on the foot peg right there a little bit. So. Anyway, it's touchy. But you just kind of look down here from the top view and just follow along as you go. So now I'm going to try to smooth that up a little bit closer, and work our way down. Alright, I went ahead and cut the bottom of this off here. Just got to square it up a little bit. Put the gasket up there and marked it. That's where the gasket line is. I'll come in here with a chop saw and ground this out like this. So, like that, going as far as I could. Flatten that out a little bit. I'm going to come in here with my other grinder right here, my little thin one. I'm going to go in here and work on this a little bit, knock this area out. I need to get this boss out of here so I can come across here more evenly. Otherwise my cutter's going to keep digging in this and getting my surface not flat. This here I'll probably leave because I like it being thick there. I like having a lot of big bolt boss there. Harley never did that, but I do. So anyway, that's what we did on that. We'll go to the next step. Okay, we got that cut up out of there now. Let's see, a little light up in there. See how we're grinding across there. Got that cleaned up. Get out of the way. You can see that's a pretty tight squeeze under here with this. Let's work our way back and forth in both directions, back and forth like this. And eventually we got it all out of there. Get it all cleaned up. Stand goes up nice and cleanly there. That's working good. So now we're going to go ahead and get back to this surface here. Now that I got that area cleaned up, I can grind a little bit more easier. So that's it, one step at a time. A little bit here, a little bit there. Eventually it gets done. Alright, getting closer here. See how it's getting a little bit in there. Straight edge in here. A little bit right here in the top up here. The back's getting real flatter. It's getting there. This black spot's a low spot, so I don't want to go no deeper there. So you're working this area here right now. So it's kind of hard to see in there, but you can see how it's getting pretty close. So anyway, same deal. A little bit, get it done. Alright, I think I'm about done with the grinder for now. It's getting pretty close. We're not getting a lot of rocking anymore. So we're getting pretty close. A little heavy on the bottom, but up here on the top surface, it's pretty close. It's hard to tell where you get that. So I ground it down to basically where our low spot was there. Just kind of feel it as you go. Anyway, it's getting really, really close. So now we're going to switch over to our files here. Coarse file and finer file. So I'm going to start going across the surfaces here and see how close we can get it. So now for the hard part. The other part was easy, because now you can screw up all this surface over here real easy, and it's going to take it down some, so I'm going to try to keep that to a minimum though. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, we're trying to file this out here right now. That's where we got little high spots right there. You can see them all along the bottom right here. All files have a little bit of bow to them. I marked the case along here, my felt tip, so you can see where I'm cutting and not cutting. This file here, when it's like this, it cuts a little bit on the outside edges. I flip it over and it's cutting more where I want to, I guess in the middle. And basically you just go in here, you just go back and forth. And just keep an eye and make sure you're not cutting out here where you don't want to be cutting. If you start cutting in here, it's going to be a real low spot, so just have to take it real slow and easy and pay attention. Use your felt tip a lot. Alright, working on this for a while. Cutting it. Keep hitting the surface back here off and on, so I'm trying to keep from doing that. The kickstand's in the way I keep hitting on. I think right now I'm digging into this real heavy. It's actually making me cut too much on the top of the hole. It's high here, low here now. So what I gotta do is I gotta cut this pin back right here. You can see I've been bouncing all over it. So it's hardened, so I don't want to cut. So I've been using my fancy body file here. Come in here like this. Just pushing right here where I want to cut. Going back and forth like this, real easy, but with this stupid damn shaft in the way over here, it makes it really hard to do this. In this direction here, you can't get a very good angle either, but a little bit better. So anyway, it's getting a little bit better. I got that low spot out now that was down in here. So now I'm starting to cut at an angle, so I'm going to come here with my chop saw and cut this pin away a little bit right here. So that should let me get the file going back flat again. So right now it's close enough you could run it with a gasket, but we'll get a bit closer. Keep playing on it. Alright, got this pretty well in. I got a file where it's going across the surface right here now. So it's pretty smooth, feels really, really good. Doesn't look good, but it feels good. So now we got our surface going across here, nice and flat. I'm showing no gaps anywhere when we're down below. But when we come up to the top of those holes, so then we start getting the rock and rolling going on here. So right there, that's slow. So that's these spots right here where I was hitting up on high, it's low. I don't really feel it, but this does not lie, it is in there. As you come up, you can feel it with this. So see, that should be flat, and it's not, so I know it's not. Down there at the bottom, the gasket is good. So the gasket will seal here along the bottom edge, but it might seep out of these two bolt holes. I'll just put little dabs of sealer right there, and secondary sealer, and hopefully that'll do the trick. When you're doing stuff by hand, you're going to get what you get, especially when you got a 3-inch wide area you're dealing with. So anyway, that'll work for now. You can see all the fine cutting I was doing, wasn't much cutting. It's been a good hour of filing on that. So I'm going to touch up these other surfaces too, these other two, this one and that one down there, and put the cover up there and see what it looks like. Alright, got this all sanded all the way around now, or filed. So we got this one here done. Doing it from multiple directions, a little bit low through here, but that's the original case. You can see all the file marks as we go around. It's low here, hits up there. So this here I remarked it and been filing on it some more. So it's kind of low right through here. Been doing a lot of cutting right through here. Coming up and down. Coming up and down like this way here. Getting it that way and other ways. I had to get this one. This is real high through here. I got that one knocked down now. Same deal. You got to come up all these different angles. You come up through here. You get up through here. Just kind of work around like that. Go like this. Just gonna keep going around. Try not to file anything you don't want to file. So this is all low through here because I never did hit it. I don't really have a stroke that way either. That's probably what I never hit. But anyway, you can't feel any of the spots, but you can still see them a little bit. So I got about half of that unevenness out of here I didn't like. So that's all we got now. Pretty flat. If we're doing it by hand with no access, you only get so good. I was on top of something there. But you still got low spots in there. So anyway, it's all done. The gaskets will have to do what they're supposed to do now. So now we got to put the cover up on here. I got to drill these other holes in and get this part done.